Shout your stuff out.
This is Midwest going with the spoon right here in Ma and Pa's. Y'all need to come with us. We in the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's a family restaurant. Y'all need to come. Y'all need to come on down here and get with us. We serving fresh food in a food desert where they don't want successful black restaurants. So y'all need to come down here.
What's the address?
2621 Dr. Martin Luther King. Midwest going with the spoon.
Today, family and friends also gathered to remember local restaurant owner George Nelson Sr. Blue, white, and silver balloons filled the sky this afternoon. Nelson's family said he had just opened that restaurant on the near Northwest Side earlier this year, and today, close to 100 people came out to remember him.
In Indianapolis, Indiana, a hardworking couple with a rich history in the city devoted their lives to raising their kids, helping the community, all while running a popular soul food restaurant. Pa and Ma's Backyard Barbecue, which is located at 2621 Dr. Martin Luther King Street, has been serving the Indianapolis area since 1995. The owners, George and Monica Nelson, are well known for their delicious comfort soul food, and they put their heart and soul into every meal they make. Not only do they serve good food, but they are considered community leaders, helping lifting up the community in many other ways. In spite of that, someone saw fit to take the life of one of the beloved owners because of their devilish greed. Originally from Evansville, Indiana, which is located about 2.5 hours southwest of Indianapolis, the Nelson family moved to the big city in 1995. George and his wife Monica Nelson were high school sweethearts, and when they came to Indianapolis in the mid-1990s, they started selling food out of their home. The couple, along with their 2 small kids at the time, a son and daughter, lived on a 3,000 block of Graceland Avenue. This is the home where it all started, not only selling plates, but also giving out free food to whoever needed it in the neighborhood. George Nelson's love for cooking came naturally because his mother had a catering service and he grew up around the food business. So becoming a chef and a future restaurant owner was no surprise for those who knew his love for the culinary art. George said he wanted to eliminate the stereotypes that soul food couldn't be healthy if the portions were made with care. Love was definitely in the ingredients for the Nelsons, and George, aka Pop, or Big G, was a huge pillar in the community for many years. According to those near and dear to him, he never turned a hungry person away. Whether they were short on money or had none at all, he was a humanitarian that motivated many people to follow their dreams. Plus, having a wife, aka Ma, that was his right-hand lady, I'm sure made it easier to make things happen. George was said to be the Midwest goon with the spoon, and if you needed a recipe, tips, or tricks, he was there to help in any way. With hard work and dedication, Pa and Ma's Backyard Barbecue opened its brick and mortar in 2007, bringing in more people in Indianapolis. It was said after grocery stores started to move out of the Riverside neighborhood in the area, created a food desert. So George and his wife were passionate about bringing a Black-owned family restaurant with fresh food and affordable prices. Pa and Ma's Backyard Barbecue was originally on North College Avenue, less than 3 miles from its current location on Martin Luther King. And at the old location, a local artist even shot a music video dedicated to Pa and Ma's good food. On top of that, the restaurant was featured on the news on the Wish TV 8 Tasty Takeout, showcasing some of their delicious food and gaining even more popularity. In the spring of 2024 is when Pa and Ma's location moved from North College to Martin Luther King, and after the move, George decided to get a contractor to fix up some of the outside of the building. However, because he was so kind, he ended up hiring a man that said he could do the work, which was no surprise because he would always go out his way to pour back into the community. The man and George agreed on a payment amount, and the man would be getting half up front and the rest after the job was complete. So the agreement was set in place, but after getting the first part of the money, the guy allegedly decided he had other plans. The man apparently decided that he wanted all the money up front, and he and George began to have arguments over texts and phone calls. The man that George hired then decided to come up to the restaurant and started a confrontation with George on August 21st, 2024. As the two men scuffled, the male would decide to pull out a gun, and he shot George 3 times in the chest. Indianapolis Metropolitan Police will respond to the shooting just after 8:20 p.m., and tragically they found George mortally wounded outside his restaurant. Before the police arrived on the scene, the suspect fled, but later on that night, they would get a lead. Around 11:55 p.m. and roughly 9 miles away in the 2000 block North Bancroft Street near East 21st Street, police were called to another reports of shots fired. There, police will find a vehicle that they believe was linked to George's unaliving. Police then detained and arrested at least one man in connection with the restaurant shooting.
With tears running down her eyes,
I'm a representation of my dad. I'm a true daddy's girl.
Raquel Nelson is talking about her father, 56-year-old George Nelson Sr.
That's my Superman. You look at your daddy as your Superman.
Nelson owned Pa and Ma's Backyard Barbecue.
We have some barbecue chicken, wings, we got meatloaf.
The black-owned business has served Indianapolis for decades.
My dad, he felt like in the black community, there's not a lot of examples of people sticking together.
He made a commitment to bring his business in this neighborhood, knowing that this neighborhood was a troubled neighborhood with a lot of crime and violence, but his family was committed to come back and to try to help improve the quality of life.
Family says they believe Nelson was shot and killed over a dispute about money.
He wanted to give people in his area an opportunity.
The Nelsons decided to open their restaurant today, saying that's what their dad would have wanted.
3 hours after the shooting, police located the accused 38-year-old Justin Jones following a shots fired call on the east side. IMPD believes Nelson hired Jones to do some work on the business. That work had not been completed and led to an argument over payment.
You get into an argument and a dispute about money and you kill someone, this is just nuts.
This was a major loss for the community and loved ones. George was literally there for anyone who needed him and was like a father to many people he helped over the years. He and his wife had just celebrated 35 years of marriage in July of 2024, and I'm sure they had a beautiful love story. Even though George loved his career, he definitely loved his family more. His 2 adult kids and his 2 grandchildren meant everything to him, and now they all have lost something so special. This horrific crime hit very hard and should not have happened. George mattered. He cared, he loved, he shared. He did all he could to show young black people that they can make nothing out of something, and he will be greatly missed. My deepest thoughts and prayers are with all who had the chance to know this special man, and I pray that justice will be served for the family. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in their difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.